Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you? I am good. I'm Ali, and I want to share with you something about emotion in motion, right? That's taken from the OUM module. What I'm going to talk about is motivation and learning. I have been teaching for nearly 50 years, and in that time, I've learned a few things about teaching, about how to get my students to study harder, how to get my students to go the extra mile, how to add to the teaching process. One of the earliest motivation theories that I learned was Abraham Maslow's Hierarchy of Human Needs. Yes, in 1943, Abraham Maslow wrote a paper about a theory of human motivation. He drew his idea in a diagram, a pyramid. At the base are the most basic needs, and these needs go up and up until they reach the peak. The series of human needs which motivates a human being are, according to Maslow, physiological need. This is the most basic need. Then safety need, followed by belonging and love. And near the top, esteem, and at the peak, self-fulfillment. Self-fulfillment is the highest need that moves a person to do something. I first experienced this application of motivation when I was in Standard 3. There was this Australian lady teacher, a volunteer who taught us English. Every time she came to class, she brought along a bag of sweets. And she would give us spelling tests. And she would offer us an incentive. If we get all 10 words right, all 10 words right, we get 2 sweets. If we only get 9 out of 10, she'll give us 1 sweet. Now that's motivation, which appeals to the most basic need, the physiological need, the need for food and drink. That's a very powerful motivating force too. Does it only work for children? Not really. It will work for adults. Consider this scenario. You work in a big corporation. The corporation is full of adults. All the adults are mature people, trained people, experienced people. And the company sets a target. If the company can achieve a certain sales target, the company will sponsor a company dinner paid for. Will that work? Yes, it does. Even adults, working adults, mature adults, thinking adults can get motivated by physiological needs. The need for food and drink. Well, that's what the company dinner is about, right? Food and drink. Now, there's another theory. This is by Edward Deci and Wallace Lambert. In 1972, they wrote about SelfDetermination Theory. SelfDetermination Theory. Basic psychological needs in motivation, development, and wellness. Well, that's the full title. In their book, they talk about SDT. What is SDT? Self-Determination Theory. They say that a person does something due to 2 factors. One is intrinsic, one is extrinsic. What is an intrinsic factor? A person does something because of a desire inside himself. He moves himself. He wants to do it. Not because somebody says do it. Not because somebody offers a reward. He does it because he wants to do it. That's intrinsic. For example, a student wants to get first. Not because there's a prize. Not because that his father will scold him if he doesn't get first, but just because he feels good getting first. That's an intrinsic motivation. And how does this fit in with Maslow's theory? Yes, it is way up there. The higher level needs self-esteem, and at the top, self-fulfillment. When a person does something because he wants to, he does it because he feels good doing it. He does it because it makes him feel fulfilled. There's an intrinsic motivation. What about extrinsic motivation? Extrinsic motivation refers to external factors. For example, a student studies English. Well, in my days, we study English because it's a mandatory subject, compulsory subject, no choice, right? So, that is an extrinsic motivation. We study it because we don't have a choice. We don't pass the entire exam. We have to pass English to get a pass in the entire exam. So that is an extrinsic factor, right? So intrinsic and extrinsic. This one is proposed by Deci and Ryan, and they call it the SelfDetermination Theory. There's another one. This is by Robert Gardner and Wallace Lambert. They wrote about attitudes and motivation in second language learning. This was in 1972. They concentrated on what makes people want to learn a second language, and they came up with two types of motivation. One is instrumental motivation. Instrumental motivation. The other one is integrative motivation. Instrumental motivation is like an external motivation and extrinsic motivation. For example, a person learns English because if he can speak English, his company will pay him an extra 100 ringgit every month. It's an external factor. That's an instrumental motivation. What is an integrative motivation? A person learns a second language because they want to integrate, they want to join, they want to become part of the society, part of the group that speaks that language. For example, a person learns to speak English. Why? Because he wants to join the English-speaking crowd. He wants to be part of them. What kind of motivation is this? This is partly an intrinsic motivation and partly an extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic because it's a desire from within. We want to be part of that group. Extrinsic because there may be some economic benefits from being part of that group, right? So that's extrinsic. According to Maslows, how does this work? Well, it can work on a few levels. One, from the safety need. When you learn a language, you may get a better job. A better job means more pay, right? That is security. So that appeals to the safety need. And you want to learn a second language so that you can join the group of people who speak that language. That appeals to the need for love and belonging. You want to belong to the group. You want to be loved by that group. You want to be accepted by that group. That is a need, according to Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs. Alright, now I'm going to share with you one more motivating factor. A very powerful motivating factor. This is called the power of love. Many years ago, I recorded a video and uploaded it to YouTube. In my video, I proposed that when a teacher takes on a new class, what he does is to make the class fall in love with him. Yes, that's right. Sounds extreme, but it works. Now think back to the time when we were students. All of us had our favorite teachers, right? Yes. Still remember? Yes. During that time, when the teacher comes to class, we are so happy. When we know that the teacher is coming to teach today, we are so eager and we are waiting. When the teacher gives homework, no problem, we are doing it to please the teacher. We like that teacher very much. In short, we are in love with that teacher. So love works. Now, from teacher's viewpoint, how can we make this power of love work? First, we have to love our students. We must think of them as human beings who are worthy of development. Never think of your students as, oh, that bunch of stupid fools. That's a very bad attitude. Love the students, and they will feel the love, and they will love you back. And the other thing, love the subject that you teach. Like I teach English. I love English. It's a wonderful language. And I transmit this feeling to my students. And they love English too. And when you love the subject that you are studying, wonderful things happen. Right? You learn it faster. You remember it faster. You develop in that subject by yourself. On your own. That's how it works. That's the power of love. Alright. Thank you very much for following my presentation. Thank you very much. See you. Bye-bye.